Welcome to the Country Watch Political Intelligence Briefing Quick Hits, a weekly briefing of hot stories across the world in brief. I'm Denise Youngblood-Coleman, and I'm the Editor-in-Chief and Senior International Affairs Analyst at Country Watch. This week in my political intelligence briefing, as you can guess, the United States is the featured country. It is 2 weeks after the country's landmark elections, and President-elect Joe Biden has begun the transition process by naming technocratic expert Ronald Klain to be his chief of staff. Klain is a veteran Democratic operative with extensive credentials on policy and was also the expert who led the Obama-Biden's response to the Ebola outbreak. Jan O'Malley Dillon, who managed the Biden campaign's winning election effort, was named to be the deputy chief of staff. Both Klain and O'Malley Dillon are among Biden's most trusted campaign advisors. One of the main challenges facing the incoming Biden administration would be pandemic management. In an interview with NBC News on November 15, 2020, Klain said that the Biden-Harris administration's top scientific advisors would meet with pharmaceutical manufacturers to discuss the scaling and distribution of a COVID-19 vaccine. As Klain noted, vaccines don't save lives, vaccinations save lives. It's a giant logistical project. Meanwhile, President Trump has continued to deny the results of the election, refusing to concede. The Trump administration has also refused to work with the incoming Biden administration on the transition. President-elect Biden warned that President Trump's refusal to concede the 2020 election and share his administration's COVID-19 vaccine distribution plans risked lives. In a dire warning, Biden cautioned that without coordination, more people may die. Moving into the wider world, there have been elections elsewhere. Of note, Moldova. There, the presidential election went to a second round between incumbent President Igor Dodon and opposition leader Maia Sandu. The second round on November 15th offered voters a clear choice between pro-Russian Dodon, who wanted to preserve the country's strategic partnership with Moscow, and pro-Western Sandu, who wanted to advance closer ties with the European Union. Voters in Moldova gave Sandu a decisive victory, effectively signaling the desire for closer ties with the EU and serving a blow to Moscow. In Belize, where the country's tourism industry has been hard hit as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, voters opted for change, with the opposition People's United Party defeating the long-ruling United Democratic Party. Johnny Briceño was set to become the new prime minister. Of note was the gracious concession offered by Patrick Farber of the defeated PUP, who noted that democracy was the greatest winner of the day. In Peru, President Martín Vizcarra was impeached and removed as a result of corruption charges. He was replaced by interim President Manuel Merino, who would hold power until new elections could be held in April 2021. Across the world is the conflicts in the flashpoint territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. Located within the internationally recognized borders of Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh is an ethnic Armenian enclave that has been the venue of periodic fighting over the years, which ultimately left more than 30,000 people dead to date. For months, Azerbaijani and Armenian forces have been engaged in fierce battles over Nagorno-Karabakh, with Azerbaijan making territorial gains. A Russian-brokered peace deal is now in effect, with Russian peacekeeping troops deployed to the region as part of the agreement. Central to the agreement was the provision for Azerbaijan to take control of territories outlining Nagorno-Karabakh. Azerbaijan will retain the territory if it captured, including the mountainous enclave's second biggest city, Shusha, referred to as Shushi by Armenians. Another region that would revert to control by Azerbaijan was Kelbajar. Several other areas would also be relinquished by Armenians. In Azerbaijan, the agreement, along with the territorial gains, were being celebrated. In Armenia, the agreement was met with outrage and unrest as protesters stormed government buildings in the Armenian capital of Yerevan, accusing officials of betraying the country. In Kelbajar, vacating Armenians burnt their homes to prevent incoming Azerbaijanis from inhabiting them. The government of Azerbaijan called the acts of sabotage to be ecological terror. It's worth noting that before 1994, when the separatist war took place, Kelbajar was populated mostly by Azerbaijanis. When the territory went under Armenian control, Armenians occupied Kelbajar, an occupation viewed by Azerbaijan as illegal. The new provisions of the ceasefire agreement could be viewed by Azerbaijan as a correction of sorts, but would clearly be viewed as unjust to Armenians forced to depart their homes. Finally, some good news. Pharmaceutical developer Moderna announced that its experimental COVID-19 vaccine was 94.5% effective based on interim data from a late-stage trial. This made Moderna the second pharmaceutical maker to report positive results. A week ago, the pharmaceutical developers Pfizer and BioNTech announced that their effort to develop a COVID-19 vaccine was strongly effective. In this case, Moderna was part of President Donald Trump's Operation Warp Speed that sought to develop a coronavirus vaccine rapidly. With access to two vaccines, there are high hopes that there could be an adequate global supply in 2021, facilitating a return to normalcy from the pandemic conditions across the world. Next week, I'm going to cover Iran's nuclear developments and President Donald Trump's interest in carrying out a military strike on that country. So look out for that, as well as the latest with regard to coronavirus pandemic issues. For more information about these and other stories, if you're a subscriber, you can check out my political intelligence briefing, accessible from the homepage of the Country Watch website at www.countrywatch.com. Even if you're not a subscriber, there's a lot of open source material there to check out, including the detailed coronavirus special report on our nifty COVID-19 scorecard. So do check that out. Once again, thank you for your time. Have a great day. And remember that we live in an interconnected world.